Hi guys and welcome to London. I'm Alex Stead. I'm a London-based travel and adventure photographer. As we're all inside, I'm collaborating with Nikon on Create Your Light Challenge. So this week I wanted to show you guys how you can create great macro shots from the comfort of your home and maybe try something a little different. This is my first time I've picked up a macro lens ever, so I'm very excited and also very nervous what the outcome is going to be. So we can fail and succeed together. So my concept today is using an old fish tank that I found in the garage, but you can use anything which is clear and that your camera can see through. Try avoid stuff which is scratched or whatever, or distorted. That can affect your image and it could be harder to focus. So my idea today is dropping acrylic paints into the water and seeing what unique shapes I can capture with this 105mm macro lens. So this is what I'm using today, a 105mm macro lens with a Z7. I picked the Z7 as I really love the focus peaking it has. You don't necessarily need a macro lens. I'd love to see you just try this anyway. If you don't have a macro lens, it'll be really interesting to see what you come up with. You can always just crop in or take a slightly wider shot. So in terms of the settings, I kept the f-stop as high as possible beyond f20. Macro lenses are a little bit different to usual ones, and this macro lens is 105mm, can go up to f40, which is incredible. My shutter speed, I kept it as a thousandth of a second to make sure I had a high enough shutter speed to capture the shapes moving. ISO, I kept it higher than usual, but I know on a Z7 it has great ISO performance, so I wasn't too worried about that. Set up this experiment in my garden today, and I had a load of lights that I use for content like this, like YouTube stuff, so I'm lucky enough to have a few lights. The best thing to do is pump as much light into the container you are using full of water. It really helps keep a higher f-stop and a higher shutter speed. However, I don't think you need these huge lights that I was using. You could just use whatever you can find at home. So my biggest challenge of this whole thing was trying to find focus. So first of all, I had an idea that I was going to use a cardboard cutout across the top and then have a hole, and then I would drop the liquid through that hole and be able to find focus a lot easier. But this didn't entirely fix the problem. I stuck a stick down that hole to find focus with the lens below, with manual focus and focus peaking on. I got focus straight away, that's really easy, but the problem is when you drop acrylic paint, it obviously disperses throughout the water really fast and outwards. So I was trying to experiment with trying to find the best place to focus on, which gave me the maximum amount of detail. You won't be able to focus on everything, but there is like a kind of sweet spot you can find. So my next idea was getting a water bottle and trying to recreate what the liquid would do once it hits the water. I didn't really want to do the paint experiment every single time to try and find focus, as I would have to empty the fish tank because it makes it super murky every single time, so that was not really an easy option. The water bottle method worked really well. I basically just got the water bottle and squirted water really powerfully where the hole was, and it gave me a really good idea of the bubbles coming through where my lens was to where I needed to be focusing. After this, I did multiple experiments with acrylic paint while dropping it. I did some with dropping it, just free dropping it, and then others I used the water bottle to see if that made a better effect. Honestly, it was a lot easier just dropping it down as it didn't go in so fast, and you could adjust your focus point just if it was a little bit off. I think the water bottle method was a good idea, but I think you need more of like a little syringe to inject it into that area, as the water bottle kind of just covered the entire frame really quickly and didn't really help. I mostly focused all day on using acrylic paints, but I also tried quickly some varnish, some nail varnish. It actually worked really well. I love the textures and the bubbles it created. It actually just ruined the plastic, so be careful of varnish because it just sticks to everything. Overall, I found this a lot more challenging than I could ever imagined. I thought it was actually going to be not straightforward, but fairly easy. It's not at all. So I'm really looking forward to what you guys get up to, and yeah, good luck.